Crack in a cold case. A suspect name in a 1995 rape and murder of a 14-year-old girl. This is Nacole Smith.
On the morning of June 7, 1995, the streets of Atlanta were forever marked by the brutal murder of 14-year-old Nacole Smith, a promising 8th grader with dreams of becoming a doctor. Her life was cut short in a senseless act of violence, leaving her family and community devastated. Decades passed with no answers, until a DNA breakthrough in 2022 identified her killer, Kelvin Arnold, a man who escaped justice for years and died before he could be confronted. This tragic case is a testament to relentless investigation, advancements in forensic science, and the unyielding quest for justice, even when it comes too late. Welcome to Urban Crime Stories. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for upcoming crime stories. Nacole Smith was born in 1981 in Atlanta, Georgia, to her loving mother, Nacole Smith. She was described as a devoted daughter and sister, known for her bright spirit and the joy she brought to her family and community. Those around her often spoke of her kind heart and infectious smile, qualities that made her cherished by all who knew her. Nacole's life was full of promise, and her enthusiasm for the future reflected her determination and the loving environment in which she was raised. Growing up in Atlanta, Nacole attended a local middle school where she excelled as a student. She was recognized for her dedication to her studies and her ability to inspire others with her positive energy. Her dreams were as ambitious as her character was admirable. She envisioned becoming a doctor, a goal fueled by her determination to make a difference in the world. Her teachers and classmates admired her drive and potential, and her family supported her every step of the way. In 1995, at the age of 14, Nacole was preparing to graduate from the 8th grade. She was eagerly looking forward to her middle school graduation, a milestone that marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. Among her plans for the special occasion was shopping for a white dress to wear to the ceremony. This small yet meaningful task symbolized her excitement and anticipation for the future, a moment that she and her family were eager to celebrate together. Nacole's life in Atlanta revolved around her close-knit family and community, where she was well loved for her warm personality and ambition. Her aspirations of becoming a doctor were matched by her commitment to excelling academically and making her loved ones proud. The days leading up to her graduation were filled with excitement and joy, as Nacole focused on taking her next steps toward her dreams. It was a time of hope, potential, and a future full of possibilities. However, the promise of Nacole's bright future was tragically cut short on June 7, 1995. On what should have been an ordinary day, her life took an unexpected and devastating turn, leaving her family and community in shock. This date would forever be etched in their memories, marking the moment their lives were changed irreversibly. On that morning in June, Nacole set out for school alongside her sister and a group of friends, walking along Atlanta's Campbellton Road. The neighborhood was familiar, a place where routine and comfort provided a sense of safety. Nacole, a bright and determined 8th grader, was preparing for her upcoming graduation and had her sights set on a future filled with promise. But as she walked, she realized she had forgotten an important class assignment at home.
Nacole was taking the shortcut with her brother and sister when she realized she forgot her science project. She left them to go back home to get it, but never made it.
Concerned about arriving at school unprepared, she made the fateful decision to return home and retrieve it. Intent on saving time, Nacole chose a shortcut through a wooded area near an apartment complex. The path, though isolated, was likely seen as a practical way to quickly get back on track with her day. However, this seemingly harmless decision would lead her into danger. As she moved through the woods, Nacole was confronted by a man who emerged with malicious intent. In an instant, her life was thrust into a nightmare. The attacker subjected her to a brutal assault, raping her in an act of unimaginable cruelty. As if the violence she endured was not enough, the attacker escalated his brutality by shooting Nacole twice in the face.
Police say 26 years ago, Kelvin Arnold attacked Smith when she was walking home from school.
The wooded area that had been her shortcut became the site of an unspeakable crime, her life extinguished in a horrifying act of senseless violence. The sound of gunfire rang out, breaking the quiet morning and alerting nearby security guards. Their immediate response led them to the tragic scene where they found Nacole's lifeless body. When the guards discovered her, they were met with the heartbreaking reality of a young life lost. The items in Nacole's book bag helped quickly identify her, and word of her death began to spread. For her mother, Aquinelia, the confirmation of her daughter's identity came in the most devastating way. At the coroner's office, she was faced with the harrowing task of identifying Nacole. Through her tears, she noticed something that would haunt her forever: dried tear stains on her daughter's face. It was a heart-wrenching detail that revealed the depth of fear and anguish Nacole experienced in her final moments. The news of Nacole's tragic death sent shockwaves through her family, school, and community. The vibrant young girl who had dreamed of becoming a doctor was gone, her aspirations and potential stolen in an act of senseless violence. Her classmates and teachers mourned the loss of a bright and compassionate soul, while her family was left grappling with unimaginable grief. Nacole's absence left an irreplaceable void in the lives of those who loved her. After the devastating murder of Nacole Smith, law enforcement launched one of the most extensive investigations Atlanta had seen at the time. Retired police detective Vince Velasquez took charge of the case at the time, dedicating countless hours to uncovering the truth behind the horrific crime. Hundreds of witnesses were interviewed, as investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading to Nacole's death. A critical piece of evidence was recovered in the form of DNA, which allowed them to create a profile of the suspect. However, despite their best efforts, no matches were found, and the case remained unsolved. For Nacole's family and the community, the lack of answers was agonizing, as justice seemed increasingly out of reach. The years following the murder brought little progress, leaving the case cold and the trail of Nacole's killer seemingly erased. Determined to bring closure to the case, Detective Velasquez reopened the investigation in 2002, fueled by advances in forensic technology and a renewed commitment to finding the truth. The DNA evidence recovered from the crime scene in 1995 was re-examined in the hope of finding a match in the expanding databases. Yet, despite these efforts, the mystery persisted. The absence of new leads only deepened the frustration felt by law enforcement and Nacole's grieving family, who remained desperate for answers. In 2004, a chilling development shattered the long-standing silence surrounding Nacole's case. Another brutal crime was reported in East Point, Georgia, a mere 15 to 20 minutes from Atlanta. 13-year-old Betty Brown was violently assaulted and raped in an attack that bore eerie similarities to Nacole's. When DNA from the assault was analyzed, it matched the profile from Nacole's case. This confirmation was both a breakthrough and a devastating revelation. It meant that Nacole's killer had remained free for nearly a decade and had continued to prey on young girls. The connection between the two crimes sent shockwaves through the community, reigniting the urgency to find the perpetrator. Despite this critical link, the search for the suspect faced significant hurdles. Investigators now knew they were dealing with a serial offender, a predator who had proven both elusive and dangerous. However, even with the DNA match, they lacked the crucial piece of evidence that could identify him. The absence of a name or face to tie to the DNA profile left law enforcement in a frustrating limbo. Both Nacole's and Betty's families were devastated, their hope for justice tempered by the harsh reality that the killer was still out there, potentially continuing his cycle of violence. As time marched on, the case once again grew cold, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and heartbreak. For Nacole's family, the pain of her loss was compounded by the knowledge that her killer remained unpunished. Detective Velasquez, deeply committed to the case, carried the weight of its unresolved nature. His determination never wavered, and he remained steadfast in his belief that advances in technology or a future lead could finally provide the answers they had long sought. After Detective Vince Velasquez retired in 2017, the responsibility of solving Nacole Smith's case passed to cold case detective Scott DeMeester. With unwavering dedication, DeMeester worked closely with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Forensic Lab, determined to find the answers that had eluded investigators for over 2 decades. In the years that followed, advancements in DNA technology and persistent efforts finally led to a breakthrough.
taking one day at a time. Those are my plans.
Tears and relief for the mother of a 14-year-old girl raped and murdered in Northwest Atlanta more than 25 years ago. Police say they now know who attacked her daughter.
They identified the DNA profile as belonging to 49-year-old Kelvin Arnold. While this discovery marked a significant milestone in the case, it also brought a bittersweet conclusion. Arnold had passed away on August 29, 2021, in hospice care due to kidney and liver failure. The revelation of Arnold's identity brought mixed emotions to Nacole's family and Betty Brown, another victim linked to the DNA evidence. For Nacole's mother, Aquinelia, the news was difficult to process. During a press conference on January 4, 2022, she expressed the complexity of her feelings, stating, "I never imagined this person would be deceased. So many unanswered questions I had for him that I can never ask and get answers."
Adam, the victim's mother, says this is good news, bittersweet, I'm sure, but it's not bringing her closure.
But I would never say it was closure for me because I will live with this pain for the rest of my life. Her words reflected the enduring grief and unresolved pain that continued to weigh on her heart. Retired Detective Velasquez, who had dedicated much of his career to solving Nacole's case, also spoke during the press conference. He emphasized the relentless effort that had gone into the investigation, stating, "If you've ever seen a case that the Atlanta Police Department put any effort into, this was it. This case has not died." His statement underscored the determination of law enforcement to seek justice, even in the face of insurmountable challenges. For Velasquez and others involved in the case, the identification of Kelvin Arnold was a testament to their commitment, but it was also a stark reminder of the limitations of justice when answers come too late. Betty Brown, who had been assaulted by Arnold nearly 2 decades earlier, also addressed the press. Her disappointment was palpable as she expressed her frustration over the time it had taken to uncover the truth. "I'm not okay with the situation on how long it took us to get here," she admitted. However, she also found solace in knowing that Arnold was no longer a threat. "I'm happy that we are finally here, and that he is no longer out there able to do the things that he did to me and Nacole and to others," she said. Betty's words captured the complex mix of relief and sorrow that marked the resolution of the case. For Betty, the inability to confront Arnold directly added to her sense of loss. She described the resolution as a bittersweet moment, saying, "I'm mad that I didn't get that opportunity to face him." Her desire for closure through confrontation was a sentiment shared by many survivors seeking justice. Arnold's death deprived both Nacole's and Betty's families of the opportunity to hold him accountable in a court of law. This absence of accountability left lingering questions and an enduring sense of injustice even as his identity was confirmed. Authorities later reported that Arnold did not have a criminal record and could not be definitively linked to other crimes. This lack of a documented history deepened the mystery surrounding his actions and motivations. While the identification of Kelvin Arnold provided some answers, it left many questions unanswered, casting a shadow over the resolution of the case. For the families of Nacole Smith and Betty Brown, the pain of their losses would remain a constant presence, a poignant reminder of the lives forever changed by one man's heinous acts. The heartbreaking murder of Nacole Smith is a haunting example of the profound impact of senseless violence. Her tragic death left a lasting scar on her family and the Atlanta community, while the decades-long search for her killer highlighted the challenges of pursuing justice in cold cases. Though the identification of Kelvin Arnold brought long-awaited answers, his death denied Nacole's loved ones the opportunity to confront him. Thank you for watching this episode. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you are new to the channel and like the content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for upcoming episodes. Until next time, I will see you on Urban Crime Stories.